Is there pressure on fashion influencers to showcase a luxury or glamorous lifestyle? This episode is brought to you by Credit Direct. Welcome back to the Fashion Roundtable. This is the show where we dig into the trends, we dig into everything, especially those who make up the Nigerian fashion industry. There's someone here today, my guest. She is very, very integral to the fashion scene here. Her name is Nonye Udegu. Did I pronounce your name well? No.
You did your best.
Okay, let's do it again.
Nonye Udegu.
Okay. Her name is Nonye Udegu, popularly known as this thing called fashion. Put your hands together for her, please. My name is Gbemi Olatero, like Biggie, doesn't change. But we're going to dig into this because she has been at the forefront of, should I say, fashion content creation for quite some time. I have a photo, I'm going to dig it up, of you with white Gbemi mules.
Oh my God.
As far back as, gosh, I'm trying to remember the year now. It was almost 10 years ago, basically.
It's been a while long.
It was one of my favorite photos. I was like, oh my God, look at what she did with the photo. Like, I really, really liked it. I posted it. We've reposted it a few times over the years. But welcome to the Fashion Roundtable.
Thank you for having me.
How did you morph into this thing called fashion? How did it even start in the first place?
I think for me, okay, so I studied economics, right? And I did my NYC at PwC.
Mm-hmm.
And at the moment, everyone was like, oh yeah, stay back, do your ACCA, da-da-da-da. Honestly, I signed up. I did like my ACCA. And honestly, and I had to pay in pounds. So it got me to sit down and actually think about it. I'm ready to spend all this money to do something that I actually wasn't passionate about. I didn't see myself like doing in the long run. So you know what? I was just like, after NYC, I'm not really interested in extending it. I returned my friends' books and I just let whatever money I had already paid to go. And I just told my friend who was already working in the creative industry that she had a job opening.
Mm-hmm.
She should let me know. And where she was working then was Tell Me Africa.
Okay.
Yeah. So I started to work at Tell Me Africa, right?
Mm-hmm.
And as obvious, like my parents didn't really understand it.
What were you doing there?
At Tell Me Africa?
Mm-hmm.
Like a mix of everything, honestly. I feel like it's where I built my foundation on like lots of things.
Mm-hmm.
I feel maybe I'm already naturally gifted with things like social media. I feel I've always had an interest with social media, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I've always loved fashion since when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think those two sort of collided to what I am now. But at that point, I really didn't understand it.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought I wanted to just go into fashion. And in my head, I already said to myself that, after school, I would go to Paris to like a course, start my own brand. And after
in Paris, like Emily in Paris. Okay.
Yes. And after a while, after building like my name in the industry, then I'll start my own fragrance line, which would be an easier sell because people already trust a certain brand, right? And it's harder to sell fragrance when you're nobody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that was the plan I had in my head. But then I started to work in Tell Me Africa and I would do like, we used to do like shoots for brands. We used to also have like a blog. You used to have Instagram, blog, the behind the scenes. So for me, I used to handle the social media, the content ideas that would go on like the page and the website. Mm-hmm. And then if you had like campaigns, the ideas and,
So Tell Me Africa was like like a fashion blog or lifestyle?
So it was like I feel like evolved into different things at different times, to be fair, because it was like a fashion blog. And then it was also like an e-commerce retail store where they used to retail like fashion brands, African fashion brands. Mm-hmm. And then it also was we also used to do campaigns too. I've forgotten what the word would be for that. We also used to do campaigns for like brands too.
Okay.
So it was like a mix of
all those things.
Yes.
Also like an agency almost.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. And so was content creation something that you knew you could earn a living from?
No.
Okay.
No, I just knew that I wanted to go into fashion and I didn't even know. I was just expressing myself. And then at that point, I think it was also easy to create your own website with WordPress. So I just created my own website with WordPress, my own personal blog. So as I was doing that work, I was also doing my own
Blogging
personal.
on the
Yeah,
side.
exactly.
This thing called Fashion?
Yeah.
The blogspot.com?
The WordPress.com.
Okay.
So I used to write blog posts then. Honestly, I didn't even think too much of it. I didn't think if my writing was good. If like I just knew that people enjoyed it. I would write and actually not even read what I was writing, if I'm being honest. And then my office, I would keep my things there on weekend. I would drag my friend, we'll go and take pictures.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's literally how I started. And for the name, I did my research, like with everything I want to do. I just do like a research, deep dive. And then they gave like 3 different suggestions of coming up with a name. And there was a third option that said you could do like a catch-all phrase. And I was like, you know what? I think there were 3 options at the time. But this Nickel Fashion stood out the most. Yeah. And it just sort of clicked.
What year was this?
Maybe like 2016, 2017.
Almost basically 10 years ago-ish.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. So at what point did you start making money from that?
If I'm being honest, it's tricky. I didn't like write it down and start making money. But I would say that things changed a lot, like during lockdown, that 2020 year of lockdown. So I'd worked like in different places, creative jobs. So after Summer Africa, it was, where did I work next? I think it was Mazel. And then, no. I think it was Mai before Mazel. And then...
So what were you doing at these different brands?
Places? Basically the same. I think it's still centered around what my core is. So for it was supposed to be content strategies, like just dealing with like the visuals of the website, what goes out for their content, things like that. Yeah, that was what it was supposed to be. Then from Mazel was pretty much the same thing, but I don't think Mazel was more hands-on. I was doing so much more. So like, and because it was also a new industry in Nigeria, we had not really understood that it was a lot of work that needed to be done by a lot, like segmented into different things. So I was actually doing everything in terms of content. So think of newsletter, think of, if they're having a fashion show, what content comes out? So think of what comes out on social media. If you're having a campaign, what's the idea? How do you execute it? Who do we use? Model? So just pretty much what I do. But
so it was from like lockdown era that you started to, because I remember I have lots of friends who are designers, and I remember a friend of mine, I was standing in her store and she was like, oh, that she needs someone to, she has a new collection coming out and that she spoke to you, but the money you were calling was a lot of money. And she told me, I was like, and that was then. So I'm wondering, like, I can only imagine what the bill is now. Yeah, but even then, it for that time, for some, it sounded high, like a lot. So how did you come up with, okay, this is the amount I'm going to charge to create content for this fashion brand?
Like I said, research. I just do a lot of research. So I researched what people are charging in the industry, like generally, internationally, wherever it is. Then I also asked a couple of people, in my industry, what they charge, things like that. I also listened to conversations. And then I just reached like a middle ground. Then you will test out the rates you want to give out. You test it out. And one person, if you test it out straight out there, give yourself like some space. Maybe after a month, okay, people are actually paying, so that means it's working, right? Yeah. If you think it's a little bit too high and people are not paying yet, then you start to, I won't really say reduce. Maybe you cannot do like a package or something just to see where people are at. Then yeah. It's just research.
What platforms have worked best for you so far?
I would say for me, it has been Instagram, because that was like my first growth channel, right? But if I'm advising anyone right now, I'll say that they should go to
TikTok. Where?
YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah, just because YouTube is they're the ones that still pay like the most in sense of it. But I'll say like YouTube. But also, it now also depends. So you can also try TikTok too, in terms of building your community and everything. TikTok too is also fine because you can also do like short vlogs, which can also be like an extension to your YouTube. So you can always start with like TikTok, let people get into your vlogs, and then you start to do long form, and then you just push them to YouTube. It's actually easier that way, if I'm being honest.
What are your biggest challenges?
My biggest challenge, there's plenty.
Please feel free. That is why this show exists. Because people look at the fashion industry from outside and think everything is just glamorous and wonderful. But the reality is this is real work. So as for you as a fashion creative, you create content, you're an influencer. What are your biggest struggles?
So my biggest struggles, maybe I should just share like two, three.
Share three.
So one of the biggest problems, or rather
Challenges.
So the thing is that when you're starting out, you don't realize that you're trying to build a business, right? So you're still taking it as a
hobby.
I don't want to say hobby per se, but like a pet project, kind of.
Passion, yeah.
Passion. So your passion. So you're just doing it. You're not really thinking about ways to make money or how to now manage the money. And like, it took me a while because for me, I'm a creative, right? So, and I'm very intentional about content I put out and the quality. Quality means everything to me. So for a long time, I put a lot of the money I was earning into getting the right quality out there. And because I had not necessarily found like the right management who really understood the vision I had for myself, it took a while to turn my passion into a proper business that can operate even without me. Okay. Right? So I wish that was something that actually I don't even wish. It's fine. I think everything happened at the right time, if I'm being honest. So just turning my passion into business was one of the hardest things. So, okay, when the money comes in, how many % should you spend on creating this content, no matter what? Like this, you should never pass a certain percentage. For example, maybe you say you don't always want to spend more than 15% to execute this content, right? And also, you also have to it's just treating like a business, so because business takes different parts, right? So setting goals for the year. I never necessarily used to set like proper goals for the year, first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter.
What do these goals look like? Is it, work with XYZ number of brands this year? Is it, I want to hit this amount in terms of, do you understand what I mean?
There's a lot of things in terms of I think one thing experience also does, it gives you clarity on who you are as a personal brand. And I think in life, you have different phases. The person you were 5 years ago is not the same person you are now. And you just keep evolving. Even next year, looking at yourself from last year. So I would say that, sorry, what was the question again?
What sort of goals were you setting for yourself? Is it, I want to work with XYZ number of brands by maybe this quarter? Or is it, there's a financial goal I'm trying to reach and I must make this money. How we're going to do it, I don't know.
So it's like different types of goals. So I would say, let me just use should I use last year as an example? Okay, let me use this year as an example. So, you first need to get like full clarity on what your personal brand is. It would now inform positioning, right? Where you want to be, who you want to see you. And then you're not going to be intentional about putting yourself in those places. So by the time I've thought about it, okay, so what would my goal, if let's say, for example, I want to go for Paris Fashion Week this year, what would my goal be? Like, if I set if I set Paris Fashion Week as a goal for myself, right? So what do I need to do to get there? And okay, that's just one type of goal, right? Then another type of goal could be monetary too. It could be, you looked at your statement from last year. This is how much you guys made in the year. So, okay, let's now increase it a bit, and that can be your goal for the year, right? And with experience, you know when your off seasons and when your high peak seasons are, right? So you're not leveraging on those peak seasons. And then maybe during seasons that are low, you can now sort of think of ideas that you can do to still gain money during those low periods. It can be as simple as, during this low season, I can focus on like my ebook or like just yeah, and they have seasons where I'll be traveling for work, so then I won't have time for that. So during your low season, you can do that. So it's just really thinking about your positioning and then putting goals to them. And you don't need to, those goals shouldn't be like big, like break them down into tiny, tiny pieces. So like, for example, our use of Paris Fashion Week, I said that as a goal for this year, but my manager sat down and thought about it, right? And they're like, it's not like, it wouldn't favor my brand if I go this year, right?
Okay.
Because it's like, I forgot that this video is going out.
It's not dragging now. No, let's talk about it.
Okay, so it would be a waste for my brand. Like
Why?
it would, because okay, so for example, last year at Lagos Fashion Week, I've already gone for Lagos Fashion Week. The positioning of that has already put you in a high positioning. So
when
now,
you say gone for, you attended Lagos
sorry, I
Fashion.
attended Lagos Fashion Week last year.
Okay.
Yeah, and the positioning for that was already quite strong. And like there's a certain positioning that I had in terms of, oh, you're invited to shows, you sat out at the front row.
The designer dressed you.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if I'm going for Paris Fashion Week this year, that's not going to be the situation, right? It's not going to maintain the same positioning for my brand. It's just be me walking on the street and doing video. I don't know how that's going to help me. In terms of positioning.
That was my next question to say. The other day, someone said to me, Gbemi, you're always talking about business owners when it comes to Credit Direct. And you're right, because I am a business owner. I understand, the struggle. But today, we're not discussing business owners. We're discussing regular Nigerians who may or may not be business owners, right? It's not for founders. It's not for creatives strictly. Like I said, everyday Nigerians basically navigating responsibilities, plans, and real life. So from paying bills and managing your daily expenses to accessing credit when needed, Credit Direct is built around everyday realities, not just for business owners, okay? If you're looking for financial tools that make sense for real life, then you definitely need to download the Credit Direct app. All right. How important is it for a fashion content creator to attend like Fashion Week outside of where you live? So there's New York Fashion Week that happens twice a year or thereabout. There's Paris, there's London. That's if you're a fashion content creator and you're thinking, wow, I'd love to go to New York Fashion Week. What does it do for you? In terms of positioning, like you said, it's one thing to go to Paris and take pictures on the road, but are you photographed front row at XYZ show? And even which show? Is it a designer that matters, quote unquote, right?
Yes. So I'm not even saying it's not necessarily just about like the throw and the clout of it. It's just also you're spending money, and those seasons are actually very expensive. So you want to make sure that you're actually planning ahead, so you're not spending that exorbitant amount of money because you're rushing. That's one thing first. If I wanted to go for Paris Fashion Week this year, I should have started planning last year, and I should have figure out my accommodation, figure out like a PR company that we're reaching out to get into shows. So you need to be very strategic. You're not just going to wasting money and just showing off.
So as a content, so is it like it helps your perception? It helps build your brand as a voice in the fashion community.
Yes.
So I'm trying to break it down so people fully understand what it means and why it is important that that these things happen. Okay. Is there pressure? Is there pressure on fashion influencers to showcase a luxury or glamorous lifestyle, even if that's not their reality?
Oh yes, I won't even say just for fashion. Like in general, if you're an influencer, there's the certain standard that you would always usually hold you to. That's why you see people begging you in the DMs, even if like everybody's going through the same economy. Do you get? So yes, it's always going to be there. But I guess it now has to boil down to you as a person. You need to stay grounded. So that's why I'm also quite intentional about, I like nice things, let's not get it wrong. If I have my money, I'll splurge on like my Chanel shoes, my Dior bag. But I'm also very intentional about showing people that they can look stylish with just stylish pieces. And stylish pieces don't need to be an exorbitant amount of money. So for me, I like to find pieces and show people rather than try to buy a lot of luxury in that sense. So I try not to let that pressure get to me.
So someone I know said that I think it was last year or so, she had worked so hard And she decided to give herself a treat and buy a Nigerian designer, expensive Nigerian designer, like an outfit, like, this baby, you've hustled this year. This is your Christmas present to yourself. She said the brand was on sale. And even with the sale price, the outfit was still expensive. But it's one of those outfits that once you see it, you know who it is. So she bought it anyway. And then she wore it to church. She has been attending this church over 10 years. She said the number of people that greeted her that day, people that would just walk past her, they were stopping to have conversation. Hello. And she was like, hey, is this what it is? So because I have on this expensive outfit, you people now think I have money. You people are now giving me respect and greeting me specially and different. And I was just like, see, okay. I think that's why some people also, apart from the fact that, there's pressure to appear a certain way online and look like you are swimming in money, is also a thing of people are vain.
Yeah.
And once they feel like you don't have, their level of respect is based off of what you have. And then if they feel like, you have means, you have money, you are wearing designer, you are doing this, then people feel like they're nicer to you. People listen to you more. I was thrown. She was like, I said, this is church. She said, yes, that she's been going to this church for years. People stopped to greet, that they were greeting her very well. And I thought, wow. Okay. So if a brand came to you now and said, we would like for you to shoot our new collection, but it is not a brand that you necessarily like or would wear. Why did you laugh like that now? What will your response be? I know now you have a team.
No, there's no need. It's like I only sell what I like. I've never worked with a brand that I don't like the brand. Either I like the founder, I like the product. In short, most times when they're not reaching out to me, I've saved the products in my list
of things that you want to buy.
Yes.
Or that you like.
Yes, or that I like. So I would advise that it's best to always work with brands that you're in alignment with, especially your brand, perception. Because it's like your social media is like a billboard, right? So, or like your portfolio, because once they come in, they click the brand and then it takes you to one page that looks anyhow. It's like it waters down your own brand. Yeah. So you want to make sure that you're working with brands that position your brand in a right way, and you actually like their products and use their products.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, thank you for coming to the launch event of this podcast, by the way.
You're welcome.
And there was something that you mentioned at the event where you said that you are curating your page in a certain way because you're trying to appeal to a certain type of people and even brands. And I wanted to ask you to explain that a little bit more, because you said something along the lines of, if people look at your page now, they might think you don't even live in Nigeria.
Yeah, the question people always ask me now is, Nonye, you're around. I like it.
So explain to me how and why it is important to do that, or why it's important to you to do that.
Okay, so for me, it's important to me because first of all, in Nigeria, you have to work like 100 times harder. And so like from everything I've been saying is branding and positioning. In this world, like even for every celebrity you see is branding and positioning. So it's very important to me because we have goals, we have a vision of where, they're trying to push my brand to, right? So I need to always show up correctly. Yeah. So that's why it's important. And then for the audience, because I also understand the type of audience I want to build, I need them to be quality more than quantity, right? So I'm always tilting towards that. I'm always actually scared for my content to even go viral because I don't just want random people following me, because what happens is that they now start to leave unnecessary comments. Brands always tell me, even people, my friends, say that they always like the comments that are on my page because you can see clearly that it's related to what I'm selling my brand. So that's why I'm very
meticulous about the way you curate your page.
Yes.
Are you also trying to appeal to maybe brands outside Nigeria, for example?
Yes, outside Nigeria, Africa, just brands that understand the vision, have the same clarity, that appreciates quality. Cool brands, they don't actually have to be in like America, just international brands. Yeah.
But international brand, okay, let me give you an example now. This is not okay. So I got a DM one time.
Yeah.
Recently where they were like, oh, hi, we love your content, and this so and so brand is a popular brand around the world is coming to Nigeria. They're opening their first store, and we would love to invite you to before they do the grand launch to check out the store. We would also want you to you feel free to shop, by the way, and we'll give you a discount. I said, let's take this conversation to DM, to emails. So I said, so send me more info. So they sent me the info. This one, we're trying to look at this day, this day, this day. I said, that's very good. So what is the budget for this? Oh, there's really no budget. What we're trying to do is just, you can come in, you'll check out but you don't have to post if you don't want to. But our media team will be there to capture you in the store. And I thought that was the ultimate disrespect.
Yeah.
Because you want me to leave my house, look cute, spend money, do makeup, look fine. Because I won't want to look a mess on camera. Come, spend how much petrol is now. Come to your store. You are giving me a discount. So it's not even free. You never say come and pick for free. Even that one safe. So then your people will capture me in the store.
I love how you're breaking
for free. Are you mad? Like, I was like, I didn't even reply. I left them on red. Like,
yeah, that's what they deserve.
That's nonsense.
Yeah.
You see all this, you don't even respect my gray hair in this industry. Like, I was just like, are you joking? Like, so you have to learn how to not jump at every opportunity.
Yes.
And yes, this is a brand. Yeah, will it be nice to say, oh, I've worked with, but I didn't work with now because they didn't pay me to be there.
Yeah.
They didn't even send PR package and say, oh, here, have.
Yeah.
Do you understand? But you want me to, I just felt, I was just like, people are not serious. Whoever is
who gave you the idea?
Yeah, is not serious.
Yeah.
How do you balance staying authentic with collaborating on sponsored content or brand deals?
So how I stay, I think also I've also been lucky because a lot of the brands that come to me, they trust my inputs, right? So they always come with being open to my inputs. So I would say how I make sure I stay authentic with collaborations is that once I get a collaboration and we get like a brief, we read it, then we start to, do research on what type of content, fits my aesthetics that can work for the brand. So it always has to fit into my aesthetics and my personal brand. Because at the end of the day, it's not like the brand is saying, this is the type of content you must do, you must do, you must do it. They send like a clear brief and they send like link options. We always ask like, okay, what's the direction you're going to? If you have like an ideal vision, share the links with us. So we see the links, right? And then we come up with our own ideas, how we want to execute it, and then we let you know, right? So the ball is always in your court. So take time to understand your brand and then curate what works for your brand and then talk to those brands. Oh, this is what we're going to do. And sometimes I also realize that a lot of brands, some brands don't actually fully understand it. So it's okay to now explain to them why you're doing this and what they would get from this. You can even further advise them, oh, I don't think this should be a one-off. You can do it like for 3 months, So maybe I post like twice in a month, and so that at the end of the day, you're telling a story. You want people to feel like you're not just doing a paid ad. You're carrying the brand along. It's part of your lifestyle. So it boils down to you just know your know your brand, your personal brand, who you are. I have a brand guide, that we put every team member that comes in. Oh, this is Nonye. This is who she is. This is our brand tone, voice. I have a brand muse. So it gives you an idea of who I am as a person, the type of content. So when you're bringing content ideas, I ask you, so does this resonate with who I am? Do you think I would do this? And then because me, I'm always, then for the fashion, I always make sure that the style too in the video, the color that I'm wearing is also part of my own
when you
brand
say,
and
you always,
aesthetics.
you're mentioning us, we, team. How did you assemble your management team? Where did you find them?
This is my management team and my best friends, which is so interesting because they've always been in my life, right? And I would always complain to one of them that my management, they're not doing anything, they're not doing anything. She was like, let me manage you. And I would never take her serious because I'm like, what time do you have? Someone that has like 3 business, what time do you have to manage me? And I think it was just the right time, and the right time was just last year ending, by the way, like August or so. Yeah, then we just created a management company. So I also practically manage myself.
Okay.
Because I'm part of the management company.
No, it's important
So-
it's important to know because lots of creatives complain about not being able to find the right team
Ugh,
or the
it's
right
difficult.
manager or stuff like that. Quickly, has there ever been a situation where you didn't have a good experience with a brand, and what happened?
I've had a couple of misunderstanding. And I think with some of them they kept quiet and they spoke about it like later on, and then we just had the conversation and realized there was a misunderstanding, and then it was fine. Then bad, not necessarily. Which other one? Oh yes. So one was I think it was about, I was supposed to have like, maybe they had paid for an event and they moved the event. And when they moved the event to, I was traveling. So I wasn't going to be available, right? And then I wanted me to do something else, but something else they wanted me to do was going to be at a higher fee.
Okay.
So they needed to add more money for a higher fee. But then at that one self is not really a problem, I would say, because I feel like it was the lawyer bringing the problem. Or rather, the personality of the lawyer bringing the problem.
I understand.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, I think every problem that came was a good thing, because then it made us put another structure in place so that when that happens again, that's not the story that was going to be told, because it was not a matter of he said, she said. Then we realized that having a lawyer is important. So we make sure that we now, we don't have like a lawyer on our team yet, because we cannot afford to be a lawyer on our team yet. So we just do like contract jobs when we need them. We just pay for
freelance. But they know like it's contract by contract basically.
Yes.
That's what I mean.
Yes.
What's one thing about being an influencer that people don't realize but you wish they knew?
I would say, okay, first of all, let me finish what I was saying about the lawyer thing.
Go ahead.
Actually, so for the lawyer thing, we just now had to pay someone to do like a document, so that it's not a he said, she said. There's like a set of rules when you pay, and you know what you're getting, the time frame and all of that. So nobody's asking for a refund. So there's clarity on that. Then you said advice for anyone that's starting.
No. What's one thing about being a fashion influencer that people don't realize but you wish they did?
It's a lot of work. It takes a lot of work, actually. And it takes a lot of clarity and also structure. It's actually business. So you have to put things in place. Because where I am right now, like I said, I'm treating it so much more like a business. I just want to be like off social media for 1 month. I'm just like, oh, wow. So this is what people have been posting on my page. That's good.
So you create the content and then you guys
I don't even create content again. No. I don't even edit the content, but I have to appear and still cross-check and still come up with like ideas. I have someone that also comes up with ideas, but I have to oversee generally so everybody's on the same page. Yeah.
Okay. Makes sense. Advice for anyone starting out?
I would say, I feel like a lot of creatives, I will not say every, because I'm not every. A lot of creatives are very multifaceted. I feel like that's one problem that a lot of creatives get stuck in their head. Oh my God, I have so many skills. I can do this. I can do that. I can do this. Yeah, it's okay. You can start with showing all of it. I think with time, what happens is that you can now tell what you're tilting towards more, and then you can now narrow it down towards that section. But if you're starting out, just start, like, express yourself in different ways, try out new things. You don't have to copy what is already in the system. You can copy like the idea, but you now make it into your own.
It's how you execute.
Really. It's how you execute, that matters, not necessarily I don't even know what I'm saying again.
No, I understand what you mean. Yeah, I totally understand. Totally understand what you mean.
Yeah, just start. And also another advice is growth. Growth is so important. I feel like you should always think about it. So every year think about it. Okay, so what do I want for my brand this year? And make sure you're growing. Always grow. Growing is important. Don't get stuck in the past. Don't allow things leave you behind.
Gotcha. Yeah. Thank you so much, Nonye, for stopping by. This was
my pleasure.
Thank you very much. Someone Someone said to me, you're always giving away gift vouchers to people who watch your show. I was like, yes, and why not? If not, if you would like to win a gift voucher courtesy of this show, all you need to do is download the Credit Direct app, follow Credit Direct on social media, Instagram in particular. Follow us at the Fashion Roundtable and show us proof in the DMs that you've done all these things. You could be this week's lucky winner of a voucher to shop at a Nigerian fashion designer's store or website or whatever it is. Just know you will get something that will enable you pick what you want from a Nigerian designer. And it could be you this week. Thank you. This episode was brought to you by Credit Direct.